All right, welcome back. I had some thoughts about the Stanley Cup playoffs yesterday yesterday was the 131st day of the year. Thursday, May 11th, 131st day of the year. 131 is the 32nd prime. Championship equals 131. And this was key yesterday because the Hurricanes won their game 3-2, and Dallas won their game to take a 3-2 series lead. And then today, Florida won 3-2. And Vegas took a 3-2 lead as well, although someone was going to, just like Dallas happened yesterday, someone was going to take a 3-2 series lead because the series was tied 2-2. Anyways, in light of the number 32 being important, so many times I've talked about how there's the importance of 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo. And the Dallas Stars, let me just pull this up here. Let's go to 1998 to 99. Oh, that day. What the heck? Sorry. 1998, 99. 32nd season of the franchise is when they won their only Stanley Cup. And of course, the Jesuit logo is a sun. They're the Dallas Stars. The sun is a star. They're in the Lone Star State, which has its Independence Day from Mexico on 3/2, and its flag is a star. This is not by accident. But what I wanted to point out, though, is let's go back to the Death of Bobby Hull video that I made. And I talk about the importance of the number 32 in this video as well. For example, I might be skipping too fast.
Known for playing with in gematria, the Blackhawks currently have her in the Coyote Jets, for whom Golden Jet, Winnipeg Jets, equals 38. On the day of his death, the current Winnipeg Jets played the St. Louis Blues, the team his son Brett played for. The Jets defeated the Blues, picking up their 32nd win of the season. Robert Hull equals 131, the 32nd prime.
So we knew 32 was going to be big for the Stanley Cup Finals when this happened because the Jets got their 32nd win. Bobby Hull's real name equals 131, the 32nd prime. And at the time, I was thinking, okay, it's either going to be Stars or Jets out of the Western Conference. And then when the regular season ended, I thought the Jets were going to go further. I thought we were going to see Jets Stars in the conference finals because of this. That did not end up being the case. But the Stars are still alive. And what I want to show you here
Okay. 58 years old. There are currently two teams on 58 points, the Minnesota Wild and Washington Capitals. Now, I'm not saying they're going to meet in the Stanley Cup Finals, but it is interesting that the Stars, whom Brett Hull won his first Stanley Cup with, used to be in Minnesota, and they won the Stanley Cup in their 32nd season, and the Capitals won their only Stanley Cup when Ovechkin was 32 years old. Tying in with the Jesuit connection, there are 32 sun rays on the Jesuit logo, and the Stars are currently in their 56th season. Society of Jesus equals 56, as does Washington, D.C. So there is a connection there. Bob?
Okay. So I did talk about why I thought the Stars would be a big player there. And they were on, well,
He died 77 days before the start of the playoffs, and he finished his career with the Hartford Whalers, which equals 77. Stars, the team we just talked about, also equals 77. It's also the 30th day of the year, and Dallas equals 113, the 30th prime. The Stars are currently on 66 points, and Brett Andrew Hull equals 66.
So there's another 66 Dallas connection. Well, I should say 66 Texas connection because Texas equals 66. But my point is that I had identified the stars back then. And in the East, I didn't have the greatest picture. I was thinking maybe the Capitals because they were on 56 points, and the Capitals were in a playoff position at the time. Let me go back to that. There we go. Yeah, the Capitals weren't doing too bad at that time. They kind of fell off. But the other team that I mentioned, where is it? I don't remember where it was. Here we go. So Bobby Hull, the last team he played for was the Hartford Whalers. And the Hartford Whalers are now the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Carolina Hurricanes are about to start in the conference finals. Now, back on his death, on Bobby Hull's death, the Carolina Hurricanes were on 32 wins. And they had 49 games played. The Dallas Stars, as I said, their only Stanley Cup was in their 32nd season. Dallas equals 49. Not sure where the 72 factors in. I know Jesuit. Hold on. So I know that was a Jesuit order. Yeah, Jesuit order is 72. But the Hurricanes had 32 wins at the time of Bobby Hull's death. That is not something that I know. Now, what's interesting is New Jersey also had 32 wins at the time of Bobby Hull's death. And the New Jersey Devils entered the league at the same time as the Capitals. And I believe it is their 49th season, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just... Yes, their 49th season in the NHL. So I was thinking, at the time of his death, I didn't have a clear picture. I was favoring the Capitals, but once the Capitals kind of fell out of contention, I leaned more towards New Jersey. Also because New Jersey and Dallas played in the Stanley Cup Finals previously, and New Jersey won that 4-2. And the year before that, Dallas beat Buffalo in the Stanley Cup Finals, and they were coached by Lindy Ruff, who I had no idea was actually still coaching in the NHL until earlier this year. I was shocked when I found out Lindy Ruff was still coaching, and the Devils had won like 14 in a row. And I was like, what the heck is going on? But anyways, I thought that maybe they'd have him come back and play the Stars for a rematch in the Stanley Cup Finals. Obviously, they just got eliminated. So that leaves me with my third guess out of the East, which is Carolina. And I don't really want to say it's my third guess because I did mention them as a potential team when I mentioned the Hartford Whalers being the last team that Bobby Hull played for. But the other team in the East right now is Florida. And I'm not sure what their narrative is to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. I know that I think it is their 30th season. Let me confirm that though. Florida Panthers. No, it's their... Well, okay. Here's the discrepancy. Because I think their first season was 93-94. Yes, it was. So their Wikipedia does this. I talked about this in my Sharks Capitals connection video, the discrepancy on Wikipedia because of the lockout in 04-05. Like, what if I go to, like, let's do Anaheim Ducks. Because they came in at the same year as the Florida Panthers in 1993. But it says it's their 30th season. But here it says it's their 29th season. Now I don't, that's key. I don't know of a Dallas 109 connection at the top of my head. I mean, Dallas TX 93, that's the year the Stars moved to Dallas. The Cowboys won the Super Bowl that year. Yeah, I'm not sure, because 109 is the 29th prime, but 107 is the 28th prime. I'm not sure what the Florida Panthers connection is to make the Stanley Cup Finals. But that being said, anyways, I've got off topic here. I was talking about 32. Carolina had 32 wins. So did New Jersey. Dallas was on 66 points. I shouldn't really be talking about 66. I should be talking about 32. From yesterday, when the Hurricanes won 3-2, and the Stars won their series to take a 3-2 lead, that is 32 days from June 12th. Now, you might think, what's so important about June 12th? June 12th could be the day that the Stanley Cup, well, okay, those dates are incorrect. I'm going to do projected start of Stanley Cup Finals 2023. June 3rd. We're thinking it'll start around June 3rd. Let's just say it does. You're going to have Game 1 on the 3rd. Game 2 on the 5th. Game 3 on the 7th. The reason I don't think they're going to take more than one day in between because the Stanley Cup Finals is already kind of delayed a little bit. So you have Game 3 on the 7th, Game 4 on the 9th. You could have Game 5. Wait, I think I missed a day in there. Let's just say it goes Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4. Maybe Game 5 is on the 12th. I'm not sure. But that's not a bad guess as of this point. And the reason why June 12th is important, as I said, 32 days after this day, and it will have 41 date numerology. Dallas, 41. And if that is Game 5, that means the series will end 4-1. Now, what could also potentially happen is if there is a narrative for the Panthers to get to the Cup final. They won 3-2 today. And or I guess technically it was yesterday at this point because it's already the 13th. But from the day they beat the Maple Leafs until June 12th is a span of 32 days. So that also works. But let's just say maybe it ends on June 13th. That's 32 days. That's the day leaving 201 days left in the year. Talked about 201 is basically the number of the Jesuits. The Jesuit Order 201. But my point is, also June 3rd, I think, is 613 prime. Is it the 112th prime? Yes, it is the 112th prime. And 112 is key because Lone Star is 112. How many countries do the Jesuits operate in? 112. And we know this is key because it's the Dallas Stars' 56th season. Society of Jesus 56. I think I've said all that I need to say. Just to wrap it up, I was talking about why I was thinking at the time of Bobby Hull's death, I was thinking it was either going to be Washington, New Jersey, or Carolina in the West, and either Dallas or Winnipeg, or sorry, in the East, and Dallas or Winnipeg in the West. Obviously, Washington, New Jersey didn't pan out. Carolina could still has a chance. It's 50% chance for them. Dallas, they just need one more win, and there'll be 50% chance of them. Winnipeg didn't quite work out for them. And another thing, I was talking about 66 with Dallas being on 66 points at the time. And just to confirm for you, Texas equals 66. Their Dallas Stars are Texas's only NHL team. I'm going to show you the standings because this is interesting. The Hurricanes and Devils both finished with 52 wins. And I was thinking, well, if one of them gets to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals and loses, they'll finish the season with 66 wins because that'll be 4 for the first round, 4 for the second round, 4 for the conference finals, and then 2 for the Stanley Cup Finals. That's 14. That would get you to 66. On the Panthers side, if they make it to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals, they'll finish with 56 wins. And as I was just saying, it's the Stars' 56th season. I don't know for certain what's going to happen. I'm just trying to project and predict based on the knowledge that we have. And I didn't really make any solid predictions in this Bobby Hull video. Although I'm a little bit disappointed because I did kind of lean more towards the Jets in this one. But then again, it's hard to tell so far out. And I wasn't... And the Stars still have a chance. Obviously, they could blow the lead, but I don't think the Stars will blow the lead against the Kraken. The East has always been a bit difficult to tell for this season. And it could very well be the Panthers, as I was just saying. I don't know what the narrative is for Vegas or Edmonton. I have to look a bit more into that. That's all I have for today.